Rand, excuse me, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for June 13th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. Worrying is one of the most destructive habits a human mind can entertain. It is actually a dis-ease of the psyche, which forms when we feel disconnected from our souls and our spiritual roots. Something happens in this life, and a perpetual stream of negative fear-based thoughts flood into our heads and begin repeating themselves over and over and over again. Fearful feelings bubble up inside and fill the narrowing mind with doubt and resistance to trusting to life. The thing we're worried about may or may not manifest, yet the mind clenches way too tight and is able to let go and relax. Worry manifests when we rely on the logical, rational mind to serve as our guide and forget that it's like what it's like to live from our hearts. We then become lost in the trail of perpetual tension left behind in the mind's anxious what-if thinking. The worrier inside us has lost its spiritual roots. It's forgotten how to deeply enjoy this life, be free from attachments in this world, and trust that everything is always unfolding perfectly in this divine, all-intelligent universe which never, ever, ever, ever makes a mistake. Worrying is an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to the universe. Worrying is an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to the universe. This disconnection creates the assumption that we are all powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. And we all know, and I think we've all, maybe we've experienced it, maybe consciously or unconsciously, that 99% plus of our worries never come into being, never manifest. Yet it's that little 1%, that 1% that the mind worries about. The ego and mind wants full control of reality, thinking that having a stronger, more strategic hold on life is the most optimum place to be. When we resist trusting in this life, we stop letting in love and honoring the divine mystery that surrounds us. So the ego and mind then becomes very tight, tense, demanding, controlling, and worried about everything. You ever done that? You ever, I think none of us are exempt from it, but I think we all at times do that to varying degrees. We tend to worry and become the ego abhors being weak, vulnerable, and unprotected from unexpected change. So it thinks real strength is found in hardness and wants total security, safety, and 100% guarantee that this life will be okay. Yet the ego doesn't realize that life is a perpetual leap of faith into the unknown. The ego has forgotten that true strength is found in softness, and that water always wins over rock in the end. Our egos are learning how to have a soft, forgiving heart filled with trust, for this is the only way to relax, enjoy this lifetime, and truly become worry-free. A lot of people say, you can't become worry-free. That's not possible. Yes, that ego mind thinking. The worrier within us can be a bit tricky to catch and sometimes super challenging to stop. We can get accustomed to blindly following the over-analytical, skeptical, doubting mindset and feel this is more intelligent and trustworthy than our free-flowing, spontaneously arising intuition. Now, the worry addict inside us is that part which has stopped appreciating life just the way it is. It feels incapable of accepting that whatever will manifest tomorrow will be for the highest good of all concerned. The worrier inside of us, like a 24-hour slave laborer who is constantly efforting for security through pushing the mind to dwell only on a negative perspective of this life. It is illogical and so fearful that it believes thinking positively is just some weak, gullible, naive, unrealistic mindset that is unprepared for some potential future horror that could occur. If your problem has a solution, then why worry about it? If your problem doesn't have a solution, then why worry about it? There's not much you can do to convince a super worried mind that a negative outcome is not coming ahead. A biochemical cocktail has been created in the worry-filled brain that make it quite challenging and almost painful to believe in positive thoughts. The worrier feels at home and life is somewhat under control if it keeps thinking negative thoughts. The worried brain cocktail generates this right feeling that we should be worried and continue on this path, being even more serious and concerned about any potentially highly critical or important life situation. The worried mind cannot trust life or take a vacation, for it's never a good time to joke around, have any fun, appreciate our spiritual nature, or celebrate being alive today. When the cocktail of worried biochemicals have taken over the brain, it is so powerful that the only place to find any freedom or clarity is by shifting gears into higher consciousness. When we interject a steady stream of pure awareness into our minds, we slowly stop believing that our fearful fantasy is going to manifest. The energy of pure consciousness acts like a river of clean, clear flowing water which purifies away the negative ideas which have little foundation in reality. And by simply being aware of our consciousness for a few minutes, we can instantly release our ego's need to be afraid and in control. We can begin to sip a deeper, succulent experience of this life that feels open, trusting, and loves enjoying the sensations of a deeper relaxation inside. The normal self is the mind. The mind is with limitations, but pure consciousness is beyond limitations and is reached by investigation into the I, the Brahman Rishi. You can tell a worried mind several million times not to worry. Have you done that to yourself? You know, telling yourselves not to worry. Don't worry, not to worry. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. Yet the reason why it continues worrying is that it is uneducated. It doesn't know how to relax the body, love the mystery, and trust in a perfect future. It thinks too much, feels too powerless, and feels the need to be in control of it all. Yet, when it imagines some fearful scene as occurring, it believes its thoughts are having no energetic impact on the outer environment or people. The worried mind is ignorant of what quantum physics has proven the past 50 years, that thoughts are things that impact our world. Every thought and feeling that any of us have is impacting our environment, our community, the entire world on some level. So, for example, they've proven that a person who you're emotionally close with on the other side of the world can feel it when you shift into a highly emotional state of love, anxiety, or fear. Not only that, we also have complete strangers that you may connect with unknowingly, not consciously, that you will feel their worry. We know people are more prone to doing business with those who live from a state of trust, faith, and connection rather than worry and fear. You ever met somebody or you're interacting with and they have a hard time looking at you and they're looking down and they're looking around and they seem fidgety and nervous? You pick up immediately and say, there's something not right here. So we're able to manifest, magnetize, and attract the right people and situations we want when our hearts are resonating with the feeling that everything is going to be fine. The more we understand the deep power we each hold in every thought we think, the easier it will become to step back from the worried mind and transcend it. If we cannot step away from the mind, we are mere slaves to its forces. When we look at our worries directly, we may see that they typically are directed to the outer world. The mind tends to get hooked on thoughts about possessions, money situations, home life, our physical bodies, what other people think of us, if our loved ones are doing okay, what we will manifest in our future. The untrained mind can worry about anything. It is a real creative genius that will poke around every possible fearful corner. And when you're not fearing, it will find a way for you to fear or worry. Sometimes the mind will worry about our loved ones, thinking that this is a form of caring about them. We might even feel guilty if they don't worry about them, thinking that not worrying or fearing for their life means we don't truly care about them. The problem with this is that this worrying energy is sending out a negative vibration of fear that is unhealthy, untrusting, unsupportive, and actually pulls their loved ones down energetically. When we worry about someone, it energetically drains the life force of another person, cutting off our trusting relationship with them, causing them to feel more isolated and lonely in this universe, which is not possible since the universe is us and we're the universe. Be aware, worrying is a highly unconscious habit that can be more addictive than cocaine. It can completely destroy a life that was potentially filled with joy, love, and laughter. If we don't learn how to transcend this addictive mindset, the energy can even implode within ourselves. When worry becomes self-abusive, we perpetually doubt who we are, why we are here, and what we are doing, and fear being wrong about everything we say and feel. We can end up doubting our lives on every level, and this can evolve into an insanely stressful way of being that manifests into a psychosomatic dis-ease and eventually death. Now, this is something to worry about. It's vital to create a new response to life where we are deeply appreciating and trusting each moment, feeling the great goodness of this life that is naturally here and all around us now. There's only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things that are beyond the power of our will. You pick this. Do not worry. There are some basic steps you can take right now to stop your inner worrier in its tracks and reclaim a life full of trust and joy. The first is to own the fact that every single worried thought that you have is being generated by you. And you are the one creating it. And so you are the one who can stop creating it. No one else is creating it. You are. If you don't take responsibility for it, you cannot stop it. Simply investigate what is happening inside, and you'll see that your mind is focusing on what it does not want to think, have, or do, imagine, feel, experience, or manifest. When you take responsibility for this, knowing you are the master and authority of your next thought process and can simply choose to focus on whatever you want to focus on, you begin investing your time and energy into something fun, uplifting, trustworthy, and new. It's empowering for all of us to know that we can imagine anything we want at any time, and that new thought process will impact our experience of reality. What if all of our time was spent focusing on what we do want to manifest instead of being invested in visualizing and fearing what we don't want, how would our bodies feel by the end of that day? When we see that it all boils down to focusing on what we want, we empower ourselves to only visualize something wonderful each day. We begin to imagine the warm rays of sunshine reaching into our hearts as our feet are cozily nestled into the warm sand, and as our gazing at the orange and pink sunsets across the ocean. This thought alone creates an instant happy cocktail in our brain that can relieve us of those thoughts which were dwelling in the dark, smelly garbage bin, overflowing with anxiety and fear. Now, becoming worry-free is very possible, which is perhaps one of the most powerful one of them all that you can apply, is that it is the backbone to getting rid of the worry vibe from your life forever. The big secret here comes in learning the fine habit of how to replace worry with wonder. Instead of fearing what might occur, replace it with being curious and wondering what might occur. Realize that there are an infinite number of possible outcomes that could manifest at any moment in any of our futures. All day long, remain in a constant state of curiosity. You cannot be so arrogant to think that you actually know exactly what the universe has in store for you, or anyone for that matter. And as you begin to open the door of wonder, you start tapping into this awesome sense of innocence inside. And it feels like your heart is a newborn flower opening its petals to the sun. And for a few moments, right now, allow your heart to feel any feelings you can summon of pure innocence and goodness. Remember what it was like when you were a fresh newborn baby who knew absolutely nothing, playing in the dirt, making sandcastles, looking at a butterfly passing by. Recall what life was like to be curious about everything. What we are always relating to life in a state of awe about every little thing around us, we see this amazing universe for what it truly is. This is the path of perpetual curiosity, and it destroys worry instantaneously every single time. Implement this simple curiosity switch the moment you find your mind worrying. And with a bit of practice, I guarantee you the mind will shift gears automatically and will be replacing worry with wonder for each of us, each and every time. We will soon discover that our time on this earth will naturally be filled with wonder, making every day absolutely wonderful. Don't worry about what this world wants from you. Worry about what makes you come more alive. Because what the world really needs are people who are more alive. Lawrence LaShawn. Another powerful tool to transcending worry is to strengthen your mental discipline and focus. When the reins on the mind are too loose or too tight, those wild worry horses inside will go crazy and trample all over our lives. Every day, we need to strengthen our spiritual connection to our innermost being. This manifests through opening our hearts to nature and creating roots in spiritual trust with wings of divine curiosity. When we simply trust that life is always guiding us toward a greater and higher good, we can rest easy inside. We can remain open and curious each day along this journey and allow the spiritual goodness to find us wherever we may be. Those of us who have been playing the worrying game for years might have turned into a worry zombie. Now, if you feel you are not used to trusting in life, feel numb to love, lightness, joy, or orgasmic pleasure, you could have become a zombie. To step out of the zombie zone, pull back strong on your mind's reins and steer those crazy horses back into the soft green pleasure pastures of the heart. Hold the mind firm on the energy and feeling of trust. Feel that one positive thing that you love in life is there now, and give it all of your appreciation. Devote yourself to trusting life. Repeat and feel all day long that you are now trusting life. Be committed to living in a state of wonder. And this inner devotion to all of us will change everything for all of us for the better. And another effective anti-worrying tool, since it's so prevalent on this planet, is using the breath to expand out your worried mind and enhance your positive state of being. It literally takes 30 seconds to make this change. 30 seconds. Just inhale slowly for 10 seconds. Hold your breath for 10 seconds and exhale slowly for 10 seconds. Feeling trusting energy is growing inside. Practice this breath cycle for 3 minutes, and I guarantee you'll find yourself entering a very calming, centered state of mind with a peaceful, still awareness. And when you're breathing, you don't need to kill yourself. You just easily breathe in, slowly, and then easily hold it for 10 seconds. Not for your face to turn blue, but easily. You'll see how it works. Be aware that awareness is always the main core ingredient needed for creating a worry-free mind. Anytime any of us find our minds beginning to worry about anything, retreat back into what is aware. Step back into the ever-present witness of the mind. Be the observer. Be the one watching the thoughts float by without participating in their drama or their story. Witnessing means having no attachment to the outcome. This is one of the most essential and instantly effective worry-reversing habits you can possibly practice. To permanently move your head out of the land of Worryville forever, you'll want to take a long, deep, honest look at what your personal worry issues are typically about. What are you so attached to these particular issues and not those other things? Why are you attached to them? Get curious about the subtleties around this worry habit. You'll find out what your innermost fears are and why they are there. Explore, investigate, then digest what your soul is truly longing to experience. Get to know yourself more deeply and intimately. You must choose to understand the different forms of false security your ego is reaching for and why. If you ever want to fully relax into your spiritual essence and truly be free from this perpetual search for safety the ego is craving. So, are you ready to create a worry-free mind? It's up to you to make the commitment to replace worry with wonder over this next coming week. Turn this into fun, empowering, new assignment that you are curious about doing. Be devoted to experiencing what life, this life, is like being, full of inquisitive awe and wonder. And write down what results manifest in your life from abiding in this state of perpetual curiosity. Take notes on how your heart feels about the end of each day. Your heart, how your heart feels. Just by wondering, you'll see new positive opportunities in people tend to manifest in your life. and that you're naturally having more fun in this life with this open and enlightening state of mind. This is something that you can follow for yourselves. They're the new 10 Commandments by Osho. Obey no orders except those from within. The only God is life itself. Truth, number 3, truth is within. Do not look for it elsewhere. 4, love is prayer. 5, emptiness is the door to truth. It is the means, the end, and the achievement. 6, life is here and now. 7, live fully awake. 8, do not swim, float. 9, die each moment so that you are renewed each moment. 10, stop seeking. That which is. Stop and see. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing, always, is to relax your body. Every single thing. Only you know, each of us know for ourselves what we're carrying, you know? What worries, fears, anxieties, what is it that we're dragging with us? You know? And make sure you're curious about it. So what is this stuff I'm dragging? You know, let's take a look at it. Let's see if it's really that needed. And you say to your minds and your egos, you're not in charge here. I love you, but you're not in charge here. So to relax the body is to know that you are not the body, right? Because you're not. None of us are the body. We are not our names. We are not our character. We are not our personalities. What we are is the God, everlasting, always and forever. So when you watch the body, doesn't it make sense that when you finally discover this, that you are the master of the body? All of its functions, all of what it does for you. If you never tended to the body, we all know what happens over time. So we release all these things. And only you can do it. No one else can do it for you. And I'm talking about releasing it naturally, not foggily. And so when you do release it, it's gone. And the body responds, because all of us have experienced this, whether consciously or unconsciously, where the body actually does let go of everything in the very moment. You let go of everything. And the body responds by just floating. In swimming, it's floating. And you're watching your body float. It's at ease. It's not in distress. And when you do this, you know it. You know when it's there. And at that point, you move into the now. And the now is omnipotently powerful, and it is all we really have while we're in these bodies. We have no clue, nor do we care, what tomorrow is going to bring. We have no clue what the next 10 minutes is going to bring, nor do we care. We are only in the moment to moment, the space between heartbeats. That's it. Everything happens in the now. The past, dead, long gone. Long gone. Deader than a doornail. The future isn't there because you're creating it in the now. And we all reminisce, and we all have, and it's fun, isn't it? Isn't it fun to reminisce? Where something sparks us. It's not like we're trying to reminisce. It's just something comes across, interaction with somebody, something you're doing, and it just folds over you. Boy, this reminds me of this. Boy, that was a fun time, wasn't it? Boy, it was really a great time. And that's enjoyable for us because usually we focus on the lighthearted parts of what we've experienced. We don't rarely do we go to the really, bad ones that bumped us pretty good because we know they're dead, that they're history. It's old, don't exist anymore. But some of us will go into that past. You see it, however, I see it as an elephant graveyard. I see it as just a bunch of carcasses and bones and not one bit of air movement, and it's just really dank. And so some of us, though, will sit there not realizing that our surroundings are this way. And we'll take that past, we'll bring it into a future that doesn't exist, we'll create that future from that past, and we will relive that past in that future. Now, a lot of people will say that they don't know why they keep ending up in the same place, no matter what they do in this life. And that's the main reason that they do. Others of us will go into the future that doesn't exist. And will wander. Not wonder, wander. So we wander around and we bump into this and that, and we keep asking ourselves. We get frustrated, we get irritated, we get in a hurry. Okay? And so we keep pushing and pushing. Says, why isn't this going to happen? Why hasn't this happened for me? When am I going to meet this, do this, have this, what this, and so on and so forth? And we get so miscombobulated, so stressed out, and so filled with worry. You see how we do that? Instead of getting curious and going, what the heck am I doing this for? I'm not in the future. I'm in the now. And I'm enjoying the now, moment to moment. And all of that noise that none of us are exempt from that noise, the thoughts, incessantly. Tens of thousands of them every day that just keep floating by. And for us, we don't know this, but most of them aren't even ours. So by staying in the now, we still that. We still the mind. We still the ego, the subconscious mind. They're not there because you're not there. You're watching. You're observing. You're not judging. So the now is it. So how do you stay in the now? There's those thoughts, remember? We grab onto those clouds that float by, and we just get carried away, carried off in these different thoughts. Most of the time, we just aren't aware of it, but, you could be focused on anything, and we've all done it more than once, where we just kind of float off. Hey, Harry, you with me? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was off on something else. So when you're consciously aware, it's fun. Yeah, okay, so I'm floating off. Here we go. I'm floating off, so I'm going to stay in the now. I'm going to focus on my breath. And my breath will take me into the now. My breath is divine positive energy. The soul enters this body, right? You, the soul, enter that body. You power the body up with the power that you are of the soul. And the lungs start functioning, and the air starts happening, and without the air, the body ceases to exist, and the soul is forced to leave it. So it is definitely divine positive energy. So the breath brings us into the now 3,000% of the time whenever we begin wandering off. And after you practice it enough, it's automatic. It's like you just automatically do it. You automatically focus on your breath. And I'm going to tell you, lymphatic breathing is absolutely a necessity for the well-being of these bodies. Our breath can heal the body. So we look at the body, and we look at it not from a judgment standpoint. Oh, I'm too fat, or look at that body there, and this, that, I don't like that, about and that. We're just in deep gratitude to have a body and be in it. So we watch it, and we see through the center of the body are these wheels of light. What do they look like? Wheels of light. And they're all different colors. There's 7 colors. There's others in the body, but we'll just focus on the ones going up through the center of the body. So you're the God, the soul in that body, and you're not the body. So where does your energy flow? You, the God, the soul, through the center of these wheels of light. And the wheels of light are connected to all the organs of that body. Every single function of that body, the God, force, love, light energy flows through. And all of your emotions. Everything. So you can see when you're disconnected how miscombobulating that could be for many of us, and many of us are disconnected. Only not knowing of who and what we are. So the divine positive energy, the breath, the God, force, love, light energy of which you are, flows through these energy vortexes, chakras. And each chakra, right, oversees a certain part of the body and functionings, the body and the emotions. For instance, you look at the fact that you've got your root chakra, which is red wheel of light. And the root chakras are survival, finances, the money, the food, the well-being, the whole, all of that. And it's blocked by fear. We will not survive if we are overcome by fear. Worry. They all go together, don't they? Ego, mind, worry, stress, fear. More worry, stress, fear, more worry, stress, fear, more worry, stress, fear. Then you get curious about it and you go, what the heck am I doing this for? So, you, the God, and along with your divine positive energy, your breath, flows through these energy vortexes. So you begin to learn, okay, so in my survival, food and finances and everything, I cannot and will not allow the ego mind to take me into useless fear. Then we go to the orange wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra. This deals with our pleasure, sexuality, ease, enjoyment. We've all been there too, where everything just flows. Everything is wonderful. Everything's falling into place effortlessly. And then that ego mind, that little voice comes in, and you have this overwhelming feeling of what? Guilt. I shouldn't be having this good of a time. I know it's not going to last, so I better enjoy it while I can. Guilt. Do you understand how you, the God, is held up in the body in certain areas? The yellow wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra, deals with willpower, right? Well, you lose your willpower when it's blocked by shame. Where does the shame come from? Ego mind. You have trust and confidence in yourself through the heart mind. You will not have shame, guilt, or fear. Then you move to the emerald green wheel of light. This is our ability to love. Right? It's the heart. And when we fall into grief, right? We fall into grief, we cannot love. It blocks our ability to love. Then we move into the blue wheel of light, the throat chakra. This is our communication, of course, our voice while we're in these bodies deals with truth. It's blocked by lies. Then we move to the indigo wheel of light. The third eye chakra deals with insight. And then, of course, blocked by illusion. So our insight becomes worthless because we allow the ego mind to bring in illusion. Then we move to the crown chakra, the violet wheel of light. This is our direct connection to the divine. It's cosmic energy to the God that you are. And it's blocked by ego attachment. When our egos are in full control, along with the mind, we have a lot of ego attachment. So we bring, we, the God, come up through these energy vortexes, these chakras, these 7 colored wheels of light, along with our divine positive energy, our breath, and then we can hold ourselves at the top of the head. We are light, we are love, we are God. And in that short period of time, we could compress ourselves, truly who and what we are, into this omnipotently powerful, pure liquid energy. And then we are releasing ourselves onto the pineal gland. So it gets soaked with our essence. And by doing this, we are re-energizing, rebooting our pineal glands into full capacity, full health, full operation. Now, none of us have that yet, but we will. So when we do that, we're able to connect all the particles of existence, all the different timelines, okay? All the different existences that you, the God, is simultaneously experiencing. Remember, you are the one. You are the universe. The universe is you. So these bodies, the heart mind, the ego mind, the higher self, the spirit, the soul, the pure consciousness, the God, the subconscious mind, all one. And when we know that we are the God in this body, not the body, and that's the heaven. The soul's the heaven. The body is the earth. So, and those of us who are consciously aware that we're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, know this. And being curious about it is even better. So every step we take, we're creating paradise. Those of us, parts of us that are asleep, don't see that yet till they awaken. Not only that, we're shining our God Force Love Light energy in a 360-degree expansion out, soaking everything, flooding everything. So all of the brothers and sisters, awake or asleep, all life, highest supreme value in the universe, we're soaking them all with the love that made us. So you look at a 5D, fifth dimension, God planet paradise. And that's exactly what we're all doing. By deeply trusting and loving ourselves and discovering of who and what we are, having the confidence through the heart-mind, we are transforming this planet into a God planet paradise, a planet that glows in a variety of colors. You see that through your heart minds. Feel it. And you'll know the energy and the frequency is directly connected to the God that you are. All of us. So we look from the perspective as the gods that we are in these bodies, and of course, we seek out other parts of us that are consciously aware, awake, to a certain extent. Now, all of the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda Christ, El Moria, Vedantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all, and many, many, many more. Now, both the archangels and the ascended masters are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. Archangels, civilization vibrates at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them with the eyes that we have with these bodies, like we see each other. But we do meet with them quite frequently, just most of the time we don't know it. So when you do meet one, at times you're kind of asking yourself, well, something different about this interaction going on here. I don't know this person, but there's something there, and you feel it. You don't feel it in your head; you feel it in your heart. And it just comes to you, and you say, that was an angel. That had to have been an angel. And they always have the same message. It's just that it's delivered in so many different ways. It's just a magna gloria, spectacular, absolutely stupendous to be alive in these bodies. And then when you understand that, you just fill with bliss from the God within. Now, they can surround any one of us. You want them to surround you? Just ask. Tens of thousands of them, anytime. And that's bliss. The reason they can do that is because their vibrational frequency, they can house a large number in a small area. Now, the Ascended Masters, we know that they have mastered ascension into physical form, out of physical form, hold pure consciousness, God form. Right? Understand, okay? When we leave these bodies, we are not these bodies. And the tricksters out there in the etheric realm appear as the bodies that we left, or the ones that we used to know that were in the bodies. There's a lot of fooling going on out there. We are balls of light. And we know, once we discover that we are the light, when we leave these bodies, we will not follow any other light. We are the light. So all of the off-worlders, celestials, galactics, right? Now, the celestials are all the planets. Galactics are those representing many. Off-worlders are those of one in many. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, for into the circle of light and complete liberation of this planet. Now, we're only familiar with a few of them. Over 1,000 travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. The ones that we're familiar with are the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Felines, the Reticuli, the Nord, the Grey, the Reptilian, the Draco, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian, many, many, many more. They've been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And in the uncountable numbers, massive numbers, they are with us now consciously. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, and dark and beneath her. Many civilizations. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light, complete liberation of this planet. Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. Now they come in the billions, and they are with us now consciously. You feel all the parts that are awake coming into full togetherness as one. We call upon all light energy beings on this earth, in it, on, above it, below it, and everywhere else. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light and complete liberation of this planet. Now, they come in the Gugaplexes. And one Gugaplex fills this entire universe with no sacred space to spare. They come in trillions of Gugaplexes from trillions of universes. And they are all with us now consciously, as well as those on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, of which we're only familiar with a handful of them, because with the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is on this planet. They come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations of which we've never seen. And the ones that we are aware of, the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elements, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. And all of them, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, in massive numbers in Gugaplexes, are all with us now, consciously. We call upon all of our loved ones, all those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Yet, only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light, complete liberation of this planet. And in the billions, they are with us now consciously. We're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God source, the soul, the gods that we are in each and every one of these bodies. It is so brilliant that it graves out the darkness of sacred space. It take 1,000 trillion suns to even come close to its brightness. And this is the purest of the highest high of deep eternal love. And we are literally soaking this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it, all the civilizations, all of our brothers and sisters, from head to toe, inside and out. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. And this is constant, eternal. So we begin to ascend above this planet. As we do, we're met with this massive ocean of glitter. It is reflecting in trillions of multiple colored lights. Looks like a laser show. And when we discover the actual reflecting source, these little microscopic mirrors which we enter, and we discover that all of us gathered in this meditation, on and off world, hundreds of millions of us, are teaching and learning from each other, to each other, and ourselves. We are all students of ourselves and each other, and we are all teachers of ourselves and each other. Absolutely spectacular on this endless journey. Fascinating. Use your curiosity about this. We continue to ascend, and we're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all of our omnipotently power of healing. We are then met with the purple flaming light of Archangel Michael, which we created. This column of light reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we've created, which reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a white fire armor that emanates from the God source within each and every one of us. It is so omnipotently powerful. It isn't like a knight's armor. Much more than that. It sets up a field around each one of us. It's impenetrable. None of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies can even come close, so they'll be vaporized. And they know it. No demon possessions. No attachments. We are protected always. Do you think we wouldn't be? But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your lower frequencies, go into the lower frequencies, lower your vibrational field low enough through hatred, fear, anger, stress, anxiety, envy, greed, manipulation, lies, whether consciously or unconsciously, you'll lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, you do decide to do this. You're immediately met with the purple transmuting flame. This is a column of light that we've created that reminds us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame and can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them back to pure consciousness where they are vaporized. They're no more. Then we're met with a violet ray. This is a column of light that we've created that reminds us all. We can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational frequency to the highest of the highest high of pure, deep, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Then we have the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we've all created, that reminds us all that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain, the rainbows, the cloud, the skies. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees, the forests, the soils, the animals. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you see a sunset or sunrise, or any vista, any grandeur of this planet, it is you who is the beauty. It is you who is the magnificence, the divine perfection, the bliss, the joy, the love, the harmony. It is you. It's each and every one of us. We continue to ascend above this planet. Some of us step outside our physical forms, hover effortlessly above them, if we're carrying physical form. And why do we do this? As well, because we can. We come into contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created it. It's larger than this solar system. The center column, we see this massive oblong sphere. The center of the sphere is this golden white ball of light. It's surrounded by all of these rings of multicolored, vibrant light. It seems like infinity. And all of them are sending these waves of mist energy that's soaking us all head to toe, inside and out. And the golden white ball of light is pure, deep, eternal love. Then comes pure, deep, eternal gratitude, pure, deep, eternal peace, well-being, great wealth, great abundance, great prosperity, joy, bliss, happiness, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, benevolence. It is ending, and it is all of us. All of this saturation is the God that we are, letting us know that we are all things, always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We are everything. Everything is us. At the top, we decided so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, as it's doing right now. Feel all of this through your heart minds. It's absolutely magnificent. You know the vibrational frequency. There's no illusion here. There's no ego here either. It's pure God. And this golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. It's flooding everybody, all of our brothers and sisters, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. You can see why this planet is being turned into, transcending into a God planet paradise, just beginning in the 5D, and eventually beyond. We are the drops of the golden ocean. We hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. We are all one, and the illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere over 3 years ago. It holds over 1,400 of our meditations in perpetual motion. They don't die. They intensify and expand. Feel that through your heart, mind, motion picture, through your heart, mind, through the God that you are. soaking us all. This is why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify. It continues to expand. Love is our true essence. Love has no limitations of caste, religion, race, or nationality. We are all beads strung together on the same thread of love. To awaken this unity and to spread to others the love that is our inherent nature is, always has been, always will be, ever beyond and forever, the true goal of this mankind, of this human life. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Choosing is anxiety. Choosing is creating trouble for yourself. Being choiceless means the mind is there, and it has a dark side, and it has a bright side. So what has it to do with you? Why should you be worried about it? The moment you are not choosing, all worry disappears. The great acceptance arises. That is how the mind has to be. This is the nature of the mind. It is not your problem because you are not the mind. If you were the mind, there would have been no problem at all. Then who would choose and who would think of transcending and who would try to accept and understand acceptance? You are only a witness and nothing else. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. We will return here Monday, June 14th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.